Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Ghost Prime, and today I want to take a look at Legacy Motormaster. Now, he is a commander class figure, so he is quite pricey. However, he does come with his trailer, which they all combine to form the skeleton of Minosaur. Now, the Minosaur is an upgrade over the last Minosaur, that I will say, and I will do some comparisons in this video. I'm really glad that they're making an all-new Stuntagon set, because that Combiner Wars one just didn't cut it at all. Kind of terrible, to be honest. So I'm really glad to have this. What else is there to say? Anyway, without any further ado, let's just get to the review. So taking a look at the box, it is in a very large box. Actually, much too large for the figure itself, which I will share in a minute. But I just want to take a look at this box art here. It is gorgeous. This is a beautifully rendered image. Just absolutely wonderful. See some of the Stuntagons down here and here. The Legacy colors, it stands out on a shelf and it is gorgeous. On the top, I actually like the top, how you can see him in alt mode here with the Legacy logo there. On the side, you have Minosaur. Of course, he doesn't have any of the Stuntagons on him, which is sort of strange. And then on the back, you have the different modes. And on the side, you have the Decepticons. And so, one of the things I really want to show is, now I have this open already. So this is what Minosaur comes in, or Motormaster comes in, and this is pieced on the top. And now he fits directly in here. He is packaged in truck mode, and he fits in, you know, just like that. Now you think, okay, well, there might be storage for some extra parts here and here, right? No, nothing. They are completely hollow. This box could have just been this big. It didn't need to have all this extra cardboard. Complete waste. Inside the box, you're also greeted with a set of instructions. As usual, it is a poster-sized instruction because there is a lot to this. But it's fairly easy to follow, and I suggest it, especially for the base mode. And moving on to alt mode, which he comes packaged in. So he does come packaged in vehicle mode, which is, I guess, a nice change, more throwback to that G1 era. But as you can see right off the bat, which is a lot of people's gripes, this trailer just is not long enough. Now, I don't think it's super bad, but it does look stumpy. But taking a look overall here at some of the detail on the side of the cab. Now, this is without its fault, so I'll go over, but it might be just specific to mine. Painted windows, painted grille, painted hubcaps, painted fuel tanks, Decepticon logo there. It is open in the back, but it's not too bad. I like this. I think that's cool because it's more realistic for a truck. I think it's really good, and it rolls exceptionally well. The trailer here is a bit panely, but I guess it's to be expected. There's no open door in the back. It is sort of like some molding in that may look like doors, but because these are purple, it just doesn't work. You know, Decepticon logo here and a purple stripe. Otherwise, it is like a silvery plastic. These are painted. Now, I've seen some reports right out of the package that some of these parts here on the bottom have yellowed. So keep this out of the light, keep this out of the heat as much as you can. And I hope you get a good one, because that is a shame. It's actually quite frustrating. Now, I've seen also a lot of reports online, seen some pictures of people, these sit out. Now, mine don't sit out, except for this is ridiculously bent. It is super bent. If you look at that, it won't stay on, and it stays in place when it's on its, when it's sitting down. It won't flare out. It won't flare out. It won't fall. It's bent. I gotta probably, since it's a big piece, I don't know, try to figure out some way to heat this up, maybe a blow dryer, and push it back into place. I'm not a super big fan of that. This one is fine and it stays well. It does have a little kickstand thing there, so you could, but it's a little too tall, so it likes to fall. It's there if you need it, I guess. It's not really that sturdy or necessary. It's kind of loose. On the front, you do have the chest of Minosaur kind of sticking out there, but it almost looks like a refrigeration unit, like a Decepticon refrigeration unit on the trailer. So I'm okay with it. So he does, the hitch actually goes like that into the hitch, and it stays in there relatively tight, You could actually pick that up and rolls decently. So what are the problems on the Ministor, you ask? Well, first off, these panels keep coming off all the time, and if you look, see there, it just popped off again. So it comes out of place, but it looks decent. You can see here where it's kind of pushed in, and I've tried to bend this back into place because this is bent on mine, and it just pushes this piece on the inside. It's really hard to get. So that's a shame. And you know, this could be specific to mine, but I'm not sure. So you know, you could tell me if yours is like this too. I could gotta get it to stay sometimes. I'm not gonna try right now, but overall, I think this is extremely successful. I think this is just the way it was packaged, but overall, it's a really successful truck. I actually like it a whole lot. Besides those panels, which I could live with. It's okay. So first off, before I get into anything else, I'm going to go do some comparisons. First and foremost, for comparison, let's see how big this guy is, or how he stacks up to a leader class in the way of Optimus Prime. So it's maybe hard to tell, but the trailer, I guess if you put it here to here, is barely longer. Let's see if I can do it this way. The trailer is barely longer than Prime's, and only by a hair. And it will not fit on Prime. There's no hitch because Prime has his trailer hitch too far up. That's how that would look if they were together. The cabs, he is much bigger than Optimus Prime as far as cab mode, so I don't think those scale exactly realistically. But, you know, Transformers have never been really about scale, have they? The question is, does this, you know, command a Commander class price? Because it is only a hair longer from this end to this end than this one. And that's only because the fifth wheel's in the wrong spot on Prime. It actually should be there. And that would actually make him almost the same length. Here is the previous Combiner Wars version, but it is entirely different, as you can see. And this doesn't even have a trailer. I don't even think this trailer could fit on this spot for it. Let's see. Can I get that in there? No. And that would look silly anyways. Now, one thing that really shows the proportions of this is seeing it next to the Generation 1. You can see where that trailer should be a lot longer. However, I might just toy hacks this up if they do come out with this sort of stripy pattern on the side rather than the purple. I do like that stripy bit. But it does a great job at being the same truck. So you can see that. Let me get that closer here. So, pretty good job, actually, I think, of being the same model truck. So that's very cool. And unlike Optimus Prime, has an excellent turning radius. Okay, so let's get into some transformation. So this does come in, you know, these two parts. I'm going to do the transformation for the robot mode first. So the very first thing you're going to want to do with transformation. Now, I will preface this by saying that the transformation can be intuitive, actually, at times on this. But the first thing you want to do is go ahead and take these panels and just move these panels out. There is a little, like this little pin right here. There's a little peg right there that pegs into those pins. So you're going to kind of lift that up and move those out like this. Take the front and split it in two. Those are all just held together by pegs. Take the top of the truck, unpeg it from here, up, over, up and over. We don't really need to peg it in now. If you want to, you can. Go ahead and move the legs, the knees straight, the hip straight. There, you can go ahead and peg those in there. Take that peg and put it right in that slot. The tires down that. Go ahead and fold these pieces in and move them out. Fold that in just so they don't break them. Now you can see the faux parts here on the back of the legs. This is actually where it's cool, but you take these, move them all the way around, move them all the way around, and then fold that piece in, fold that in like that, and that cleans up the back of the leg. This piece comes down like this, and then there's a slot right there and a tab right there. Tab and slot that holds nice and tight. So same thing on this foot, but I do want to show you one thing. Now this is a faux part. I know some people are soured on faux parts. If you don't want it, you don't need to have it. The whole thing can transform like this. He is without a clear foot, but he still retains the ankle rocker. So he could still have almost a full cab on his leg without faux pieces, if that's what you like. I think that's cool. I love faux pieces that are done intelligently like this, to where it still works how it should work if you don't like it. This is a really cool little feature that I'm really glad that's there. That said, I will be keeping it like this because I don't think that's too intrusive, and the little wheels are funny. So we just go ahead and clean this up real quick and go ahead and paint that all together. So now we got the legs. We can move around to this part here. So the arms are just pegged in. Just want to unpeg those. Go ahead and take them and move them out and around like this, and there are pegs and slots right there, and they snap in real tight, real tight. Then and take this piece and kind of untab it so it's on a hinge. It goes over the head, and I'm gonna get the head out of the way. There we go, and onto the back. So we have something like this, which are almost done. So you take a little panel under each hand, open that up, flip the hands out. And then the same on this side, open that up, flip the hand out. And we're done into robot mode. So in robot mode, just go ahead and set him aside for now, because he does actually have a weapon. Now the weapon is stored in the box inside the trailer. So for the trailer, we're going to do this now. Just pull it apart. And inside there is the sword. So it's flat, but it's decently sculpted. And you should go ahead and stick that in his hand there. And we'll just continue on with the trailer. So let's just set him aside for now. First things first, we're gonna take the front of the trailer here, chest, go ahead and put these two pieces up, pull them around off of this main piece. We're gonna build the battle platform or base mode. So what you wanna do is you're gonna listen to this. Those ratchets, very loud ratchets. So I wanna get those down. And then what you're gonna do is move this around like this. Go ahead and turn at the waist, something like that, and set that aside for now. You take this piece you just took off the outside, and then kind of collapse it in. I'll open this all the way up so it's completely flat. And then collapse this in, and they peg together all the way down the middle. Peg, pegs, pegs, and peg together at the bottom. So you have something that looks like that. Go ahead and set that aside, and let's start taking apart this piece. So you can just take this and just separate it like that. They're just on pegs. And take these two pieces, separate them, also on pegs. And you do have a gun, which you can use for the gun, the blaster for Minosaur, or you could use it for Motormaster. And Motormaster can't hold the weight. Just kind of, it looks silly on him. Plus it has these two. I never liked these. Anyhow, I digress. So these two pieces here that you just undid. So go ahead and you want to take this piece, move that open, which does reveal the foot. Unpeg that, move that around, and just stand that up like that. You do the same for this one. Move those aside. Now, these two pieces here, they come apart. There we go, like that. And what you're going to want to do is just take it and then do that. Just kind of keep it together like it is, and do that to each side. Like that. So what you want to do from here is take the underside of this. The wheels go on the bottom, and there's pegs here, and what these do is they peg in like, if I get this on the camera, like that, to the underside. So you have two of them like that. And we'll move that like that. We're gonna go ahead and stick this in there right now. So this right here just slots in on those two slots under here, and it connects like that. So that stays like that. And from here, go ahead and take the leg pieces, and there's a nub right here and a slot right there, and those slot in on either side. Lastly, you want to take this gun and peg it on top, right up here, and move the two handles out so you have a gun emplacement. And that is the base mode. Now Motormaster could stand here, hold on, and be firing. There's the entire battle platform. It's large, it's sprawled out. I guess it's better than the G1. It doesn't look too bad. It will take up a lot of shelf space if you plan to actually display it like this. Okay, so let's take a quick look at Motormaster himself and get kind of close up here. So check out the paint. The Motormaster has a nice, really nice head sculpt, really nicely painted purple. Purple shows up on the chest, and the gray paint around the outside there, lining the pelvis as well. He's got purple paint on the knees, silver, purple on the legs. Now this whole thing is painted with the Decepticon logo here. This is all painted as well. This is cast in white plastic, painted purple for the fuel tanks. And the hands are cast in white. Silver here. Cleans up really nicely. Let's take this out of his hand for now, because do some articulation on him. So articulation wise, his head is just kind of on a mushroom peg. It's not a ball joint. And I was thinking maybe that there's a separate one inside, but there's not. He can only look left and right, not up and down. Shoulders out to there, 360, bicep. It's actually a little less than 90 at the elbow. He has wrist swivels, 360 at the waist. Soft ratchets in the hips, but he could get really, really far at the leg. And more ratcheting here. Now these, I do want to point out, these hip ratchets don't feel good. They feel spongy is the best way I could say. They're not solid, they're very, very spongy. But there's ratchets. Anyway, and the knee, way over 90. Thigh swivel, ankle all the way, nothing up and down. But other than that, you get some pretty good poses. Now, one thing he is prone to, because of the backpack, at least maybe on this surface it works, but he does like to fall backward on me a little bit, which is a shame. But I can get him to stand up and give the pose really well, so I don't really have too much of a problem with it, especially when I bring him out, like spread out his legs in an A stance a little bit, like that. So let's get into some comparisons real fast with some of the previous offerings. There he is, next to Combiner War. So you can see he is a fair bit shorter, but he doesn't look like a gorilla, frankly. That head sculpt though, see if I can get them both in frame and focused. The head sculpt is much better on the new one, the Legacy one, than it is on the previous version. And I like how this guy is much more accurate to his cartoon model than he is to the Combiner Wars, which is much more like the toy. The Combiner Wars is kind of this color here. Well, there's how those two kind of stand up together. And here he is next to Optimus Prime. So he's actually about the same height, which I think is very cool. They should be around the same height, and they look good together. I think he looks pretty good like this, and I think the height actually works. All right, getting on to torso transformation. So let's take his fists. Go ahead and rotate those in on either side. Take the back of the wheels here, up and over the head. Head goes down, revealing the head of Minosaur. And go ahead and pull up and out and over. Push this in like that. And it sits like that. These pieces here tab in. So go ahead and move the arms like this. Move them out. Untab these from here. Move those up. There are little pegs there, and there's a little hole right there. Now those will tab in to the back. So you want to move that like this, and then get that all lined up and tab it in, and do that for both sides. So you have something like that. So then go ahead and turn them around, and we start the legs. And for the legs, we're going to need to undo this for a second, and then open up this piece like so. And you're going to want to kind of do this, kind of put the legs in on this hinge here. The hinge right here, you're going to put the legs in, but not collapse them and all the way. So they're going to be sticking out a bit, so you want to close that. So you have something that looks kind of like, see, kind of like this, right? So you have just the leg sticking out. Yeah, just keep on moving that way. Actually, so one of the things would be easier to do is twist the waist first. So you have the waist this direction. So go ahead and keep it like that. On this side, same thing. Move that in, collapse that down, get that out of the way, and that out of the way. So what we're going to do is there is a slot there and a peg there, and you kind of want to just push that in. These are hard to get in, but they will peg very securely when you do. There we go. And same thing on this side. There. Go ahead and just put those back where they were. I just move them because I don't want to pop them off this joint. So then you take these two pieces and just kind of put them where they are on the truck mode, kind of like that, and peg them in on either side. Make sure that's all cleaned up. Move his bunny ears out. So go ahead and set this piece aside. So this is the middle piece. That's directly just kind of if you just take apart the base, this is how it comes out. So you can go ahead and just take this purple piece, take the chest, and it will tab. You can see a slot there and there, and that just kind of goes like that. And these gray pieces up, covering those little wheels. The back piece, there is a hole there and a tab there. Kind of push that together, holds incredibly tight. All right, then you take these here pieces, like the front of the faux truck, and move those around and tab those in. Like that. So it kind of looks, you have something like this. Go ahead and stick that to the side for now. Bring back in the feet, which is what we did earlier, and just move this piece up like this so that part is showing. Now you'll know which leg to put it on because this is on the inside of the leg. And a la Combiner Wars, just stick that in like that. So you have his legs. Now the arm pieces, which we had like this from previous, we're just going to go ahead and put those back to where it would be in the trailer mode. and take these pieces and move these out. Take the fist, move that around. This is the arm that I don't have a figure for, so I'm going to show you how to do this. Kind of straighten that out, lock that in place. Take the wheels, tab that in like that. Oh, and take this piece, these pieces, fold those. Take these pieces, fold this on itself. Just kind of collapse it on itself. So we have the left arm. And then that has this here piece right here that clips onto this. And surprisingly, that holds incredibly well. So the other arm, same sort of deal. Get that lined up. Go ahead and take these panels, move them and collapse them. Collapse them down like that. Move the hand around so you have something that looks like this. And then what you want to do is you want to match up drag strip here, which has the holes on the bottom, to this. Goes on like that. You have something like that, and then once you just put them on, you just kind of separate it and then transform it like you would normally. That's actually a really cool little feature. Go ahead and put these down. Now these also don't stay flush here, which is irritating. And then there, goes in place like that. And there you have Minosaur skeleton. But that's how he looks without all the different bits on him. Now he does have, when you put on the Senticons on the bottom, he has these pieces here. There's a button back here that will just press in. That actually keeps his foot from falling forward a little bit. He is a little front forward, weak front in the front. So, but that'll fix that when those are there. But he is really posable. He has all the same posability of the robot. He can move his arms out to there, down, all the way around, bicep. He has 90 at the elbow, hips out. Really, really good ratchets. That does have a tendency to do that, just like Combiner Wars. Does hold a little stronger, but does that. He also has ankle pivots, all very strong joints, and the knees. 90 at the knee. Hopefully you can see that, because I can't see the camera to work with it. I keep popping out. He can actually pose. Really well. And he could hold his sword. Oh, he does have wrist swivels as well. So he can actually pose pretty good. He looks menacing. So he's a pretty big guy, but how big is he? So let's do some quick comparisons. All right, let's see if I get this guy to stand up. Here he is with Combiner Wars. There we go. Combiner Wars Minosaur. So as you can see, he actually has a little bit of height on him. Not a whole lot, about that much. But I mean, look how much more sturdy they look. This whole thing together was just not well thought out. This is much more thought out, even if these limbs are not actually combined onto there, they're sort of stuck on. It looks much more like the cartoon. It actually invokes the character much more than this one does. And this one was a huge letdown for me, unfortunately. I wish that this one was better. One thing also that is better is, if I can zoom in here, the head sculpts. So there's the old head sculpt. And there's the new head sculpt. That new head sculpt is really clean, very nice painted, red eyes, looks good like the cartoon. And that one just is not great. Here he is, next to the original release, the Generation 1. So you see he is much, much larger. Finally, there he is with Optimus Prime, just so you get an idea of scale there. Now lastly, he does have an accessory, which is the gun emplacement just sitting like this, and that he's supposed to hold it there, which is, well, looks like he's peeing. So I won't be using that for that. Maybe another Transformer will get that one on my display. So I get all the other ones in and combining him and probably doing a final short video on the entire thing when it's all together. Oh, you're still here. Well, overall, I think he's pretty good. I wish he had some better joints in this mode. He's not so bad. I think the paintwork is really good. He falls back a little bit. So a little tab or something to turn around would have been nice, but he stands up okay. Combined form is awesome and poses super well. It'd be interesting to see when there's added weight from all the rest of the Stunticons on it. So, you know, I guess it is TBD on that. But overall, I'm really happy with it. Now, is it a Commander class price? Because that trailer is really short. And it's, I mean, they could have done something to make it longer. I guess you probably would have lost a little bit with the arms and not folding up the way they do, but it is short. And I think that leaves some things to be desired, because this doesn't really look right. It looks more like a box than a trailer that he's carrying. But I do like it. And the truck mode is pretty good. Of course, there are the few things like the back wheels on the trailer that aren't very good. Mine are warped, and the little piece here on the leg that becomes the side of the truck, that also is warped, and that looks like it was warped in packaging. It also has far too much packaging. They could redo some of that waste and actually make it a smaller box, but then maybe people would be upset because why am I getting a small box for a Commander class? It has some weight to it though. I haven't actually compared it to the other Commander classes. I am thinking about doing a video specifically on this class and weighing them and trying to figure out why the price is the way it is. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do that video. But I can recommend him. I think he's really good. I do wish he had a handgun, though. But I think he's really good, and I love him. So if you're in it, I'd say this is a pretty good one. Anyway, thanks for watching till the end, and I'll see you guys next time.